But if he doesn't come back, I told Erica this, the show's dead. I'm not going to fill him in.
No.
His fucking logo, his face is the logo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not changing anything. Mm-hmm. I just won't talk about basketball anymore.
Oh, fuck.
That's just what it is.
Now we've got to, no, don't say that. Please don't say that.
I'm sure his audience would
be. Please, God, don't. Please, I have children. Please, come on, I'm trying to live here.
Yes, I think so.
Really exciting. Okay, what else? Good God.
Well, another podcast making some news this morning.
Well, is that Coley Mick?
Yeah.
Is it making news?
Well, we'll bring it the attention that they probably don't want.
Yeah.
It's okay. So Coley Mick, I know him from, he's on Krabus' podcast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He seems like a very nice guy.
Yeah.
As I always start things.
Yeah,
like
he's
this.
funny.
But he does. You don't like him?
I said he's funny.
No. Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
I don't know him personally.
I've not experienced that yet. But
Well,
okay.
Maybe not this
the 50
episode,
minutes I heard.
Yeah.
But he seems like a good guy. And I think he does the podcast with Tyler, right?
Yes.
It's a basketball podcast.
Correct. Mickstape.
And Tyler is Trill Withers, right?
Right.
Trill Withers,
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
One and the same.
So he was going to do his podcast last night, but I guess Trill Withers Tyler is taking a leave of absence from Barstool. Is that accurate?
A hiatus.
Sabbatical. Sabbatical. Is this, I suppose, in reaction to Dave?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that wasn't really stated exactly, but it was sort of hinted, I thought, no?
Oh, I thought
it was pretty well.
I didn't think it needed to be stated because it was so obvious.
I guess my question to him would be if we ever had why? But okay, I don't. I mean, I understand why, but why now? I don't know. The whole thing's weird. So Kevin and Dan go on there, and I have no idea if they went on knowing or not knowing, if they thought they were doing basketball, if they thought it was going to be. My advice to them would be like, when the presidential candidate is running for president, Bill Clinton, he ran for president in '92, didn't bring up Jennifer Flowers on his own interview after interview and after interview. He got through it, and then you move on. Like at some point, you have to stop apologizing and just start living your life again. Now I understand.
Stop apologizing, USA.
I understand many people died in this battle, but I mean, it's like this made. There were 2 funerals broadcast on fucking Barstool,
right?
Us and for Trill, who's everyone says is a super nice guy and really talented. And I hope he stays because everyone seems to like him. I'm sure he's a good guy.
Yeah.
But I don't know why there was this. And I guess Coley is good friends with him.
Yeah, I mean they do the podcast together.
Yeah, they're best friends.
He said they were best friends, so I get it. Like I get where he's coming from, but it felt like they brought KFC and Dan on. It just felt warmed over and been done a million. I don't know.
Well, the tone I got from this left me with the question of why is Mooj such an asshole? Like, the way they're talking about this, it's totally reasonable that someone would be offended and leave the company or not want to do their show or whatever. I don't get why Mooj became this enemy that everyone accepts to go after. If he was offended, isn't that your right now to be offended and leave?
But I don't think he was actually offended.
Neither do I.
I think he just
self-interested move.
Just did people.
Neither do I, but that would be suggesting that the take that Mooj had is impossible to have. But they all seem to think it's totally reasonable.
I guess, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there is a kind of a discord with the way they're handling and apologizing over and over again, and then the startled reaction to what Mooj did. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I guess. I suppose. Is there any cuts that play out to jump out for you guys? I listened to the whole thing running this morning. I was.
I mean, there are a few cuts, but I think just the opening 2 minutes is the weirdest. He's almost. I don't know. He sounds like he's having trouble keeping it together.
Yeah, he's very. And look, I respect that he's friends with the guy, and his friends probably pissed off, and I get that. But it just felt very. Play some of it felt very weird to me. That's all. And I say that as somebody who I'm glad he's able to do it.
It's kind of Mickstape. I'm here. Big Cat's here. KFC's here. I appreciate them for joining me. Tyler's not here. I don't know if Tyler's ever going to be here again. I hope he is, but I don't know.
So when I was listening to this, I was like, did he tape this intro and then added on the part with Big Cat and KFC?
He did not.
Or Big Cat and KFC
I think they jump in.
They're sitting there watching this.
I think so. I don't know.
To be fair to Coley, that's kind of his usual. He talks very slow. Like that's kind of his usual cadence.
Yeah, but you can tell he's a little emotional. I thought.
For sure. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Taking a break. If you're listening to this, I'm sure you know what happened the last week and a half or so. And he's hurt right now. I'm not going to lie. he's hurt, I'm hurt. I don't think many people really feel great right now. And I don't fully know what the fix is. I've had almost everyone in the company ask what to do. And I think of myself as at least a smartass who has an answer to everything.
Hold on. So almost everyone in the company's asked him what to do?
I guess to make Tyler happy, or
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm assuming he means
I have not, for the record.
almost everyone.
I reached out.
Okay. I just, Tyler seems like a guy. Okay, keep playing.
I don't really have an answer to this. In the past, when this company's faced adversity, it hasn't been completely self-inflicted like this. And I think that's why this hurts.
Actually, it has.
Because it was avoidable.
Of course. I mean, whether they've deserved it or not.
Right.
I mean,
It's always you saying
It's
something.
always self-inflicted
or,
to some extent. Now, the reaction is always absurd and over the top. But, I
Right.
mean, if Dave and the rest of these guys just did boring stuff all the time, there'd never be any trouble. They wouldn't have
Right.
any money either, but, nobody would care about them, but there'd never be any trouble.
Yeah, it is self-inflicted in the sense that you say something that some asshole is going to run with and make into a story. But I guess they've decided that this is Dave being like, Dave crossed the line here. I
I mean, they
they've
keep
all
getting in.
decided.
I don't know. We'll play some more cuts, I guess. But if I ever talk to him, and he probably has no use for me, I suppose, I would say, like, how about this? You can say whatever you want, whether it's Tyler or whatever. You can call the guy an asshole. You can say you think he's racist. You can say you don't think he's racist, whatever. And then you have a boss who you think might be racist, might not be racist, and everyone else at the company is fucking woke as can be, and you do your thing, and Dave will never bother you anyway. And you'll get paid. Like, what am I missing here?
I just don't know when we, as a nation or as a company, heal. Like, it's been 2 weeks now. When do we all kind of move and say, this happened? If someone found a clip from 4 years ago and made it into a story. It actually didn't happen yesterday. It actually happened years ago. We were all fine.
He's your
No one
boss.
thinks Dave's a racist.
Let's just say
Genuinely.
let's just say they think he is. So then you work for a racist, then you could quit if you want, if you think that. Or you could say, well, I work for a guy who, I don't agree with on this issue. He lets me do whatever I want. I can say whatever I want. I have a huge platform. I can build my platform. I can have conversations with everyone else in the company who's as liberal as can fucking be and do my job. That doesn't sound so bad to me.
On the other
doesn't
hand,
to me either,
just
but I
being
don't know.
like, hey, I'm going to take a vacation for 3 months and sort this shit out. That's pretty cool too. He's still getting paid. Anybody.
Well, sure, but I'm just saying,
anybody in this moment wants to be like, hey, things are too hot for me right now. I'm going to go on vacation.
It's kind of like, well, what, like, how many times are we going to have this conversation where Dan and Kevin go on and say, oh, I've changed. I'm different than I was 5 years ago. Da-da-da-da-da. We do this. We do that. We change this. We change that. It's just like, I mean, what the fuck? Like, enough. Move on. Stop apologizing. It's up to Dave. If Dave wants to apologize, fine. Clearly, he doesn't feel that sorry about it, or he'd say he was really sorry about it. So process that how you'd like to. Do your job or don't do. Like, it's not, it's now to the point where a week ago, I'm like, oh, fine, it's a conversation. We are now at the point where we are now like way overblowing this. And Willie did his thing again last night. And it's kind of like, now it just feels like you're sort of just doing it just to keep the thing rolling.
I guess so. And actually, Dan made a really good point. I don't even know if he intentionally made this point, but he was talking about how he had to go through his Twitter to find some Cubs thing from a few years ago. And as he was scrolling through, he was like, oh, Jesus, I really wasn't funny. And and he means nothing offensive. He's just looking at his jokes and thinking like, oh, this isn't funny. This isn't funny. So, and he's kind of talking about how much you change in 4 years, just your comedy or whatever. And why can't we look at that and say, yeah, you would do shit 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 6 months ago that you wouldn't do now? Why can't we all say that and accept that and understand that instead of this, I don't know.
It's not even that. Everyone else in the
this.
company thinks it was stupid what Dave said. Everyone else.
Sure.
Nobody. No, you're arguing with yourself at this
But
point.
it can't stop there. You have to process it and turn it into part of your personality. How stupid you think it was.
Well,
How
stupid.
racist do you think it was.
It was dumb. It was stupid. Stupidest thing ever. Stupidest thing ever. And
Are you
Dave-
declaring apologies over?
I mean, if I were Dan and Kevin, I would never participate in something about this specific incident ever again under any circumstances.
done a lot of.
They've done. It's enough. It's enough. They've apologized. We've got it. They're good guys. They said stupid shit. Life goes on.
And it's kind of starting to seem like the Dershowitz thing.
Yeah,
like if you can prove I'm racist, go
all
try.
due respect to Coley Mick, at some point I'd be like, enough, fucking enough.
And I don't want to keep making the same points over and over again, but Dave didn't whisper this in a broom closet and happen to get recorded. He said it into a microphone on Barstool. Coley was at the company, People heard it. Like, we've just moved the goalpost on how we feel about things now, which is fine. No, we all understand he wouldn't do that now. Dave wouldn't do that now. I wouldn't do it now, any of us. We know it's wrong now. At the time, evidently, it wasn't as wrong. Now it is. Let's fucking move on. Everyone knows you wouldn't do it now.
Do you think there's a little bit of guilt that some of them feel because there's more than just this one clip and they've been listening to it and just laughing about it?
I think for the first time ever, they've been.
They addressed that too.
Yeah, for the first time, this particular issue has really, been the light has been focused on them, and it's a weird thing and it's a hard thing. You can say you're not racist all you want, but it doesn't matter once it's branded. You can't win. That's the other thing is you cannot win. It's over. It doesn't matter. The core group that hates you will always hate you. You're never going to please them. So I said last week, you can apologize all you want. They're going to go after you, A. Within, they're going to go after you, B. It's never going to stop. So move on. It's over. Now the Willie Colones and the Brandons and the Tylers may say, no, it's not because Dave still runs a company and this thing still exists. Fine. Have a conversation with him. I don't, like, it has been discussed, I think, to death.
It's also been exacerbated by coronavirus, the fact that not everyone's in the office, they can't sit down.
I guess.
It's real. I mean, they're just kind of shooting arrows at each other. If they were face to face, I think things would be a lot different.
Hey, is there any other cuts that jump out from this thing or no?
Let me see.
Yeah, the only reason I'm comfortable going is that it's possible that this is bridging the gap. He'll come back. We'll talk about it again. And hopefully just move forward and keep doing what we were doing. But if he doesn't come back, I told Erica this, the show's dead. I'm not going to fill him in.
No.
His fucking logo, his face is the logo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not changing anything.
Mm-hmm.
I just won't talk about basketball anymore.
Oh, fuck.
That's just what it is.
Now we've got no, don't say that. Please don't say that.
I'm sure his audience would
Don't,
be
please,
bummed
God,
out by
please,
that.
God, don't. Please, I have children. Please, come on, I'm trying to live here. I mean, have a little perspective, please, for Christ's sakes.
So that would mean like he's gonna not quit his job, but stop doing his podcast.
He's not gonna quit.
Right.
It's like if Mike left, I don't think we could ever talk about free speech again.
Can't talk about craniacs ever again.
Oh, well, thank God.
You'll be eating crow on that one, pal. Eating crane on that one.
But I think he's a nice. I'm sure he's a nice kid.
Fuck you.
It wasn't even good.
Crane?
That's what I'm saying.
It's a bird.
I know, but it was. I'm aware, Steve. I'm aware.
It was so bad, it was funny.
Anyway, I'm sure he's. Like I said, he seems like a really nice guy, and like I get it's his friend. I get it. He's upset, but it's just. It also feels like why didn't you do this last week?
Yeah, I don't know.
When is Monday or Sunday?
Maybe he's probably waiting for Tyler to come back.
Oh, that's probably true. So whatever. I just felt it was strange, and Dan and Kevin were fine, but I felt like I was like, was this thing taped 4 days ago? Like, why am I listening to this?
Well, that's what I meant about like when are we gonna all heal and move on? Because yeah, I mean it was. I can imagine that Tyler or JDM or Willie or any of these guys would think of it differently than me. Of course, I don't know.
No, of course,
I'm sitting in different shoes. I don't know what that's like. But is it the worst thing that's ever happened to you? Do you need a 6-month leave of absence? Like when do we all start to move on from this horrible?
Maybe take a leave of absence. I don't care, but it's just sort of like it's. I just feel like conversations like that. Does that particular one? I'm like, this does the company no good.
I think there's a dynamic. There's a dynamic set up where if you're the first one to move on, you might be a little racist. So now it's like Olympics
Maybe, yeah.
to see like
I feel like Dave's moved on.
Well, exactly.
Well, but like what?
But I'm saying like you have to. The more you process it, the more you talk about it, the more you linger on it, the less racist you are.
It's an interesting point because saying what I just said at this awful racist company, I'm worried that they'll come at me like hate me more than they already do now. I'm worried that I would get in trouble for saying, "Hey, fucking move on." Like I'm, you know what I mean? Like I feel that's something that'll get you in trouble more than the opposite.
Exactly. That's the point. That's kind of the point I was just making. Exactly. It's like you can't be the first one to move on because then you're not.
Then you're a racist. Yeah,
you're not appreciating the gravity of the situation.